Started as a bit, but it's become a life mission. I feel like this is what I was born to do.
Fraser, what is your dream?
My dream is to help the world dream, but I want What's Your Dream to be on the cover of Time magazine. And that is, I created a mock cover and it's been my wallpaper for like a year. I am manifesting that dream hard.
I was all over your Instagram today and looking at all the people you've interviewed, and I was getting so lit up just listening to everybody's dreams. And I was thinking, you've chosen this path that must just create so much joy and inspiration in your life. But I kind of want to know, like, what led you here? What was the pivotal moment or the inspiration? It's such a niche and nuanced thing that you're doing.
December 2016, I'm at a cafe with a mate, and somehow we create a bet that I would film one person saying on camera what their dream in life is every day for a year. And about 200 days in, I realized that was too easy. So I changed it to 10,000 days, which I didn't realize at the time was 27 and a half years. Somehow locked myself into a life mission that I'm currently 2046 dreams deep in. Honestly, it started as a bet, but it's become a life mission. I feel like this is what I was born to do. I mean, it's no longer a bet. Like, that was more the first year. It was now, genuinely, this is my passion, helping people dream.
Wow. And were you already somebody who was, were you interested in, I don't know, journalism or videography or storytelling? Was that already sort of in your nature, or you've always been an optimistic dreamer?
Oh yeah, 100%. I've been a filmmaker since I was 7. That was my dream growing up, was to be an Oscar winner. And I actually directed a feature film when I was 20 years old. So I've always been a dreamer. Like, I was very fortunate that I was raised in a family that pushed me to dream. In fact, my parents would have probably told me off if I had pursued being an accountant or something. Like, wow. It's probably like the flip of most families, where if I had pursued plan B, I think my parents would have told me off, which is amazing. I'm so blessed that that's how I was raised. And probably now that I'm just turned 30, now that I'm getting older, I'm realizing that a lot more, that I was very fortunate how I was raised.
Oh, 100%. I reckon most people that I work with are trying to outrun the conditioning of their parents, which was make sure you go to law school, go to med school, do this successful, do that blueprint life. And so many people are trying to find the courage to pursue their dreams, but it does take a lot of courage for a lot of people. And I wanted to, so I'm guessing it started out as a bet. You probably didn't set the intention to be interviewing people like Ashton Kutcher and Mila Kunis, and you've gone into weird and wonderful situations. What sort of adversities and challenges have you had to feel or to experience in the pursuit of your dream?
Oh my gosh. Well, firstly, there's no way on planet Earth when I started this that the thought of, ending up at Ashton and Mila's house was even in the realm of possibility. Like, I remember scoring like a local MP for dream number 5. And I was like, dude, that is like, I've capped it. I've already topped it. I've done an MP. I can't get bigger than that. But adversity wise, I've done this for 8 years. Through this 8 years of filming dreams, I've, been married twice. I've gone through a divorce. I've had multiple deaths around me. And honestly, for 5 years, I filmed one dream every single day. Didn't miss a single day for 5 years. And that is Christmas, New Year's. That's the day my nana died. One of my close mates died. The day my marriage ended. Like, it was genuinely an obsession in that way. And as tough as it is to pursue a dream, kind of the thing that got me through a lot of tough times, and like, trying to run a business in my mid-20s and basically being days away from bankruptcy and just totally like figuring life out. But this gave my life, purpose. It was the reason I woke up every morning, was to meet someone and film their dream, and it gave me direction and hope. But that does not mean it's been easy. I mean, I quit for a year. End of 2021, I quit straight for a year, was never going to do it again until that little voice inside told me to pick it up. once more, and thank goodness, because all the crazy opportunities and doors have basically all opened since picking it up again. But I had to kill it first before that ever happened. So I don't even know I can't even remember what the question was, but I'm probably rambling. But yes, so much adversity, so many.
Yeah. Wow. What I love is like it ranges from kids to PMs, and I thought like Mila Kunis, I was like, wow, this is incredible.
That was wild.
But also people, you know, just mothers and fathers and athletes. And like I've heard you say dreams are an equalizer.
Yeah.
Have you ever met anyone who couldn't answer you when you asked, what's your dream?
I get a lot of people that I go up to and they're like, their instant response is, I don't really have a dream. But it's never true. I've figured out how to break people down a bit. And usually if someone says they don't have a dream, I start with, what was your dream as a kid? And then they'll be like, oh, my dream was to be an astronaut or to be an All Black. And then I go, now take me on that journey. What happened? And then they slowly lead into what their current dream is. So I truly believe, and maybe I'm super optimistic, I believe everyone has a dream. I think a lot of people are just scared to say it out loud. And I think that's why people tell me, oh, I don't have a dream. It's usually fear, maybe fear of rejection, fear of being accountable. Like once I post the dream publicly, it kind of holds you accountable to some degree. Now your friends and family have all seen it. They're gonna keep you in check about pursuing it. But oh yeah, I genuinely do believe dreams are an equalizer. Like I've been everywhere. I've met every walk of life you can imagine. Everyone has a dream. No.
Wow. Have you noticed any common themes about dreams or things like, I noticed when I was just watching a lot of your interviews, I am assuming, and I'm reading between the lines with all these people, and I don't have kids yet myself, but I can see that a lot of the people you interview, once they've had kids, it's like everything sort of changes. Have you noticed that?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think there's so many trends. Like every kid right now wants to be a superhero. You know, everyone in their 20s, they dream around stuff like social stuff or like what's going on right now in the world, like global warming, about stuff, you know, they're very activist driven dreams. But most parents, their dreams are for their kids. I'd almost say like 90% of the parents I've filmed, they bring up their kids. And I think that's so beautiful. And I know that, you know, right now, obviously without kids, my dreams are so work driven and everything, but 100%, I know I'll be a big softie once I become a dad, and all my dreams will be about my kids achieving their dreams, you know?
Yeah, I feel that. I was sort of watching Mick Fanning when you were talking to Mick Fanning.
Yeah.
What a cool dude, and how he said like he had fulfilled his dreams. And I think that's so important too, that adults are fulfilling their own dreams so that they're not projecting their unfulfilled dreams onto their children.
Oh my gosh. That's so real.
So real. Yeah, and I was a teacher for quite a few years, and I saw that you could see parents projecting unmet dreams onto their kids, and the pressure that can create can be quite intense. So I think it's the best thing we can do for humanity, to fulfill our own dreams.
Amen. 100% agree with that. Are you a teacher still?
No, I teach online, but I'm not in the system. Okay. So you said that like fear is one of the things that you've noticed. Maybe it's fear of rejection. Have you noticed any, like in your interviews, things that people do to overcome that?
Oh, overcoming the fear of sharing their dreams?
Sharing their dreams, pursuing their dreams?
Well, I mean, I think like all fear, a lot of the time it's just in our heads. And I think as soon as you verbalize your dream and it's posted, you realize it's not scary as you thought. Yeah. And it's actually liberating and quite freeing to share your dreams publicly. And it's so interesting, like, because I'm such a dreamer and because I've filmed 2,050 people, when people get nervous, I'm kind of like, what? It's so easy to share your dream. And I've filmed my dream maybe 5 times. Maybe every year I film my dream. And every year, the second the camera's on me, I'm sweating bricks. I'm so nervous about sharing my dream.
Wow.
And I'm like, I get it. It's actually a really tough question to answer. But honestly, I think once it's out there, it's freeing. So freeing.
Yeah. And do your dreams, as you've recorded them each year, are you noticing that they change? And is that a common, or is it more of this relentless pursuit of one dream that you see?
Totally changed. My first dream I filmed was in 2017. And my dream was to win an Oscar and to be the greatest filmmaker of all time. Now my dream is to help the world dream and for What's Your Dream to be on the cover of Time magazine. So my dream has dramatically changed. Now, obviously, I still want to be a filmmaker and pursue making feature films. But I think as you get older, I don't know if you feel it too, the older you get, the more you just realize that life's about helping people, loving people, blessing people, encouraging others. And honestly, me helping people to pursue their dream is far more fulfilling than any dream I could live out, you know? And I've been fortunate enough to be able to live out some of my dreams over the last 10 years. And never has it been close to the fulfillment level of 10,000 dreams, ever.
Wow.
Yeah. But you couldn't tell my 18-year-old self that. My 18-year-old self would not believe that at all.
18-year-old self is like, we want to be famous and we want all of the accolades. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 100%. What was your dream at 18? And then what is your dream right now?
I think at 18, I wanted to know, I was a frustrated student. I was the frustrated kid when I left high school because I didn't know my dream. And when you're a bit younger and you speak to these people and their dreams are often at that age, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to choose to do at university? What's your job? And I could never find mine because I was so multi-passionate, so creative. And I loved people like Oprah and people who talked about inspirational stories. So I went on to do journalism for that reason. And my dream was to be like Oprah. But I was very frustrated. Like, I was so frustrated as a kid that I couldn't find my dream. And now I often help people to find theirs because I went through 10 years of, I did a law degree. I did all these things trying to find my thing. But I think that was all leading me in the same place.
That's so cool. And now where are you at right now?
My dream is that I get to have an impact on the education system in some way through the courses that I teach, which are all around mindset and emotional intelligence. And I want that to be like Australia-wide, the course that I teach. And that will impact mothers, children, and make the change in the education system that I think needs to be made. Because a lot of kids are too stressed out now to even dream, and they're children.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh.
They're kids.
That's so real.
Yeah, because we don't ask them, like you said, how do you want to feel fulfilled? How do you want to give back? How do you want to feel? We say, what's your grades? Like, what grade what do you want to be? What do you want to do? Not who do you want to be? Oh
man, it's such a big difference. Like, work is work, but having like a deep purpose to why you're alive.
Yeah.
That, like, if you know what your why is and your mission, then work can change. It's, it could be a totally different thing. You could be in journalism, you could be a filmmaker, you could be writing books. But if your mission is the same thing, then, oh man, that's where the joy of life comes from, eh?
Ooh. Have you found yourself, what's the weirdest, strangest situation? I mean, Elmo must have been wild. What was the weirdest situation you found yourself in?
2 weeks ago in LA, me and my wife, we were filming the dream of a satanic priest in a car park outside of Denny's in downtown LA. And we spent half an hour with the satanic priest. Like, literally, I cold emailed the satanic church, not thinking I'd ever get a response back. But somehow they teed up someone that's never done an interview before. He was 50-50 when we arrived, whether he was going to drive off or even do the interview. And it was fascinating. It was, me and my wife are Christian. It was just such a fascinating experience. And we had an amazing conversation. And you go into something with an idea of what someone's going to say. And, obviously you think of a satanic priest, you go extreme. His dream was about community and happiness, and it was very kind and loving. And you're like, wow, what are these, things that I created in my head? But he was a very lovely guy, and it was a fantastic conversation, and it was an experience and a situation I never thought I'd ever find myself in, but it was so awesome. And this project really is everyone and anyone, and I feel like as of the last couple of months I'm starting to live into that a bit more. I think I said that for years, but I never really went extreme. Like, I kind of stayed quite safe with the people I film. And there's been a few controversial, kind of spicy people as of recently. But that's humanity, I want it to be anyone and everyone. I want to travel the world filming people in extreme, outrageous places. And so that was extreme. But yeah, Elmo, last year I flew to Melbourne from New Zealand for 10 minutes with Elmo. So literally flew to Melbourne, did a 10-minute interview, and then flew home.
Oh my gosh.
But it was so worth it. It was when I started, when this started as a bet, I wrote out a list of 5 impossible people to film with my mate. And on that list was Steven Spielberg, Justin Bieber, Roger Federer, J.K. Rowling, and Elmo. Wow. So I had to do it. I've got 4 left on that list.
Yeah.
I'm getting closer to some of them. But how
have you been going about that? What's your strategy to get these untouchable humans?
Well, for years they really were untouchable. Like, for so many years it was like, there's no way on planet Earth Elmo's ever going to share his dream. But you just slowly build relationships over time, and I built a relationship with Sesame Street's publicist over time. Originally it was locked in for 2020, and then COVID delayed it 4 years. Sometimes you gotta be patient, and there's other people on that list that I'm starting to build relationships with, people around them, and I believe in the next year I will have all 5 picked off. I believe that.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm rooting for you. This is so exciting. I love
Thank you.
And I was thinking, actually, from a business perspective, I work with so many clients who are trying to get certain people on their podcasts, or they want to collaborate with someone, and they're so afraid of reaching out because of that rejection that you've mentioned that everyone can be so afraid of. Yeah. And I love what you did with Tom Cruise, trying to speak to Tom Cruise. You basically got out of a plane and started being like, Tom Cruise, I want to talk to you. And it really did, it stopped the scroll. I was like, what is he doing? Did you get any? So there's 2 parts there. What, I guess, thinking outside the box for collaboration and building those connections. You're doing it so well. Yeah. Also, did you hear back from Tom Cruise?
Of course. So for Christmas, for my birthday, in March, my wife got me a skydive jump. And essentially she just got me a voucher to do a skydive. Yeah. And we were going to Fiji a couple of weeks later, and she's like, I bought you a voucher to do a Fiji skydive. And honestly, until the day before, I wasn't going to do it. This was one of my ultimate fears. I was like, I'm not going to do the skydive. And she kind of was like, all right, we can use the money for something else. Until we had a massage in Fiji the day before, and it just hit me mid-massage. What if I did a Tom Cruise pitch mid-skydive? That's probably the most Tom Cruise-like way of doing a pitch. And that's honestly the only reason I did the skydive, was to do the Tom Cruise video. It turned out to be one of the greatest things I've ever done. I haven't heard back from Tom Cruise. I know it's in the hands of some people on his team, and honestly, let's just see what happens. But regardless of whether he gets back or not, I don't regret it. It was fun. If I didn't do it, I would be full of regret right now, going, I bet he would have seen it. I should have, and also he might take a year to respond. I'll keep trying, I believe it will 100% happen. But on your point before of, how the people around you who are kind of scared to reach out, honestly, I'm the biggest advocate for just sending that crazy email. I've sent more than 35,000 cold emails since I started this.
Wow.
And to people that are, while people I shouldn't have the emails of that I've been lucky enough to get. And like Ashton and Mila were straight cold emails. Like I'd never met them. They had no idea who I was. Like total cold email. Like nothing's impossible. Just send that email. I am such an advocate for it. Like I went to America in February, and days before I left, I was like, man, I really want to film Terry Cruz's dream. I just had this strong feeling. Yeah. So I literally just sent him a cold email, and 20 minutes later, he responded. And a week later, I was in his office for an hour on a Sunday morning in Pasadena. Like, what? Nothing's impossible. He'd never heard of me. Like, man, you got nothing to lose. And I think, like, because I've sent so many cold emails, I have been rejected thousands of times, like thousands. Yeah. It does not hurt anymore at all. You just get, the more you do it, the more you're like, And like so many of the people that I've had rejections from, I've gone back to 6 months later, 1 year later, 2 years later, and I've teed up. I don't know if you know who Sam Neill is.
Yeah.
He was eight emails before it was a year. Like it was basically 8 no's from his team before it was a year. Wow. So you just keep sending, just follow up. Like
he spoke so, I loved what he said. At first, I think when you asked him what's his dream, at first he said something that sounded almost anti-inspirational. He was like, I want to wake up with no dreams, be able to that peace, and there is no bad things in the news, and just one day where everything, we don't need a dream for a better. It was almost like he was saying it would be just nice to not have to dream for better for once, because the world, he was beautiful. So I'm so glad you kept. Yeah.
Oh, and it's just fun. Like, how much more rewarding when you had to spend 5 years teeing someone up. It's so rewarding when it finally happened. Mila was probably a year of trying to figure out schedules and whether it was even going to happen. And honestly, I was like, even though I got in touch with her, it was like a 50-50 for like a year, whether it was even going to happen or not. But then when it happened, it was the right time. It was exactly how it was meant to happen. And it was just awesome.
Yeah. Whoa. And what was that like? What was she like? What was that experience like? You rocked up, you're in America, and you're like, oh, I'm in Mila Kunis's house.
Yeah, it was so like, it was just awesome. They're two of the coolest people I've ever met. So I filmed Ashton's dream last year in May. Yeah. And then I filmed Mila in February. So there was a big gap. Obviously, I connected with Ashton first, and then I reached out to Mila. But it was Valentine's Day. Spent the whole morning at our house. Me and Mila chatted, had a DMC for like an hour. Then, we're chilling in the kitchen. And then at one point, it was us on a FaceTime call with Scooter Braun chatting. It was just, the whole situation was just like so wild. But it was just awesome. Like, I felt so comfortable. And honestly, I've stayed in touch with her since, like genuinely, like it was a really special experience. It was one of the most pinch me. How this started as a bit in Auckland. How the heck did this happen? Like, this is Beverly Hills. Like, this is the most Hollywood you can get.
Wow.
So I'm so grateful that they even trusted me. Yeah, like that meant a lot. It's not something people do often, but it meant a lot. Yeah.
I think it says a lot to your character and your energy. You have a very trustworthy energy, and I think it speaks to them too. Like, and I think maybe I might be guessing here, but has this experience in some ways taken these big stars off a pedestal and enabled you to see that they're just humans like every single, like all of us?
Oh, absolutely. I don't get nervous or starstruck anymore at all. At all. Because you just realize they're just normal people. Everyone has a dream, like Ashton's in the kitchen making soup. Like, they're just human. Like, we build them up, but it's incredible how these experiences just build into your confidence and your view in the world, Like, even with the Satanic priest, like, I changed after that. Certain people you build narratives around but we don't actually know. We don't know them. We don't know what they're going through. We don't know where their heart's at. Yeah. And it's kind of made me so much more open to like, everyone has a dream. Everyone has a story. We're all human. I feel very blessed that this is what I get to do.
I can't imagine. I mean, you've inspired me as we've been talking. I'm like, I'm going to email Oprah. I'm just going to tell Oprah.
Yes, my good. Is she number one on your interview list?
I think she'd be up there. A lot of the people, unfortunately, that I would love to interview are no longer on this realm, because I think like Einstein would be, if I could talk to anyone, Einstein I'd love to speak to. And my first mentor was Bob Proctor. I've always wanted to talk to him. He passed away just before that happened. But yeah, and I actually was curious because I noticed on your chat with Ashton, he mentioned your email. You must have called email him, and he actually said, mate, your email, it was something about your email that sort of captured his attention. And I was thinking, what did you say? Like, how did you hold him about this thing? And I guess their inbox would be flooded. How did you cut through?
Honestly, just being authentic. I put on a show. I don't act professional. I don't say, dear Mr. Kutcher. I'm like, yo, what up, Ashton? Let's freaking do this, man. Like, let's go. Like I am just myself. So basically how I talk, I incorporate that into the email. I say, bro. I use emoji. I say, sup. I'm like, I just have fun with it. And I think that stands out because they probably get hundreds of professional emails every day. And here's this Kiwi dude like, yo, like that doesn't seem nervous to be sending this email. I think that's what's connected. But two, like the other thing is, it's one thing to get emails, and I've been very lucky that I've been able to kind of get all these emails and connections to people. But I think too, it's having something worth reaching out about, you know? Like if I emailed Ashton about investing in my cupcake business, I probably never would have heard back from him, you know? So I think because I only asked for a very short amount of their time, and, you know, I started at 30 seconds. Like, honestly, if they had 30 seconds, I'd be able to do it in 30 seconds. Now, luckily, a lot of the time it's now, you know, you go and you spend half an hour to an hour with people. But I'm not asking for a lot of time. I'm not asking for a lot. And it's also tying into something that's about encouraging people to dream. So I think the mission has helped me get into a lot of doors too. And it's also allowed a lot of people around me to also make connections. So I've been very fortunate that, you know, people I connect with then want to connect me to other people. When I started out, my cold emails were terrible, like shocking. I used to call it a video blog, you know, and I didn't sell it well. I was like, I do this video blog. I'm filming 10,000 dreams and I've done it for 50 days. And, you know, it's like, oh, come on, man. Like it just didn't feel. And now I say, this is my life mission. This is why I was born. This is my Everest. I want to help the world dream. And suddenly that captures people's imagination a lot more, I think.
Such a filmmaker. You're such a creative. It's so cool. I'm just so, and I have to ask, and this is my own selfish,
ask away.
Kid, I loved T-Pain. So when I saw you there chatting with T-Pain, I was like, what? Getting everywhere. What was that like?
That was so cool. I went to Vegas to film his dream. I was in his hotel room, Super Bowl weekend in Vegas, and I was just in his hotel room for like an hour. It was so awesome. He's such a good, genuine dude. And we've stayed in contact since. And I don't know if you saw the video where he was talking about the project to me, which he was basically saying, you're not allowed to stop this. He's like, please promise me you'll never stop this mission. And that built me up so much because the night before I was sick in Vegas. I thought I felt like I had COVID and I was just miserable. And why am I doing this project? I'm over this. And then T-Pain being like, promise me you'll never stop this because it's so important. And that built me up so much. He might never know how much that built me up, but it's just crazy. I don't know how some of these situations happen, but they keep happening. It's really wild.
And I think that speaks to that speaks to the innate nature of humans, because everyone, when they hear your mission, is like, yes, like we just want, I think at our core, we want to see people dream, because we all have dreams. And like you said, it's the equalizer. To me, I would assume that this project hopefully has made you think even greater of humankind in a world where it would be so easy to look down the negative rabbit hole. It would be so easy to do that. And you're like this light that's making people dream again. What's been your biggest takeaway about the true essence of our human spirit?
Well, I've noticed that everyone lights up when they talk about their dream. Like, lights up. It's everyone's favorite topic to talk about is their dream. Like, genuinely, as a hack, if you're at a party or an event and you're in a kind of stale, awkward conversation, ask someone what their dream is, and the whole combo will flip instantly. Like, it's just so fun talking about dreams, and people want to share their dream. People just don't ask the question enough. You know, it doesn't come up in conversation. It's not really bar chat. Yet everyone has a dream and everyone wants to share it. And I've always been so optimistic, and I've always almost ignored the negativity in the world and the dark stuff happening. To listen and to be with people every day and to just hear their dreams, which is kind of like a portal into their souls, just builds me up so much. Like, it's hard to be, I don't know, it's like magic. It's so cheesy, but I genuinely believe it's like magic, you know? It kind of brings you back to your childhood essence. You know, as a kid, you're dreaming massive dreams of being an astronaut or a president. And I genuinely, it's my favorite thing to talk about. I used to think film was my passion. Now I learned that dreams are my passion, and film is the medium in which I
feel that. I really feel that. I love watching people. A lot of my work is to help people dream, and I always call it life design. Like, design your life. Don't live by
That's cool.
Design. And so often I was met with, I don't have a dream. I don't know my dream. I can't connect to it. It's been so long since somebody asked me. And so if anybody's listening, as you're talking about people that light up when they talk about their dreams and their mission, and hearing you talk about your mission, like, I feel like I need to go for a run after this. I'm like energized.
Thank you.
And I'm thinking, I'm thinking from the perspective of somebody listening who might be feeling a little bit disheartened or sad and thinking, what the fuck? Like, I don't know my mission. I can't connect. And it's nice for everybody else that has this vision and this energy and this mission. I don't know what mine is. Do you have anything that you would say to those people?
Yeah, well, I think, like, speaking personally, whenever I'm in a place where I feel like that, and I feel lost, and I feel jaded, uninspired, it's usually because I'm thinking too much about myself. And I always find when I start helping others, when I start blessing other people, it makes life so much richer. And I would start by saying, go out and help someone, serve someone, do something to help someone else discover their dream. And in doing so, you will feel that joy and you will spark up again. And but honestly, and I think too, taking the time to stop and reflect and actually go, what is my dream? Not what is my parents' dream for my life, or what are my friends saying I should be doing? Like, what do I really want to do? Because it's so easy, I think, when you're younger to pick the dream that will lead you to money and fame. You know, when you're 18, you're like, I want to be an actor, or I want to be an athlete because they'll make me famous and rich.
Yeah.
But maybe the thing you're deeply passionate about and actually that you're deeply gifted at won't bring you wealth or fame, but it will make you so much happier. I believe everyone is a genius at something. You just need to discover what that is, you know?
I honestly love your mission. I love what you stand for. I kind of have this other dream that I want to build a school that's like a utopia. And I'm thinking, I want Fraser to be like the principal that just comes in.
Oh, come on.
This is the assembly items, kids. You must dream. You have to dream. And you all have X Factor. Imagine if that's the programming that we were handing down to the next generation. Yeah.
That would be everyone's favorite class.
It would. And then we could teach them how to create the mindset and the skills and the, emotional resilience to go for those dreams and imagine the world. This is what lights me up. Imagine that world.
I love that. Oh my gosh. You've inspired me today with this conversation. Like, honestly, yesterday I hit a wall and was very much doubting why I was doing this and was feeling uninspired about the whole mission. This has picked me up again.
I'm so glad. And my dream for you is that you take this into schools. Imagine, I've seen you do it at like some schools, but imagine you speaking at assemblies. I think that this is just so world changing. I thank you so much, Fraser, honestly, for everything you do.
Thank you. That means so much to me. Honestly.
Thanks so much for being here. And where can listeners find you and listen to all your crazy interviews and watch your life and you with Tom Cruise and all the people that are on your list?
Tom Cruise will happen. You heard it here first. Instagram, 10,000 Dreams, Fraser Grut with a G, Solenti, or TikTok or 10,000dreams.org. But I'd say Instagram is where I'm most present.
Guys, go and watch all the Instagram reels and videos because like I said this morning, I was watching them and then I was like, I literally did. I went for a run after because I was so energized. Your Instagram is just like this hit of inspiration. And so, guys, it'll all be in the show notes. Fraser, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. That means so much to me.
Wow.
Epic.